welcome to Behind the Music for Daily Hope. This is our last weekend before Lent begins, the last weekend of February, which also happens to be Black History Month. So when Pastor David Palmquist asked me if we could sing Precious Lord this weekend, I thought it was especially fitting. Now, we've been going through the chapters of John, learning about the different things that Jesus did during his ministry on earth. And this week, we're learning about the man who was born blind and how Jesus heals him. It's an amazing story, but there's still suffering involved. And I think that's true for a lot of people, that it's through suffering that they find Jesus. This was true for Thomas Dorsey. Dorsey was born in Atlanta, Georgia in 1899. His father was a Baptist preacher, his mom was a piano teacher, and so he grew up in the church, singing hymns, being around things like that. But at 16, he went to Chicago because he wanted to study music. He was composing and he was playing in nightclubs, and he got involved with jazz and blues and was a very respected musician, and he just kind of started living his secular life. Then he got severely ill and, through suffering, found his way back to church, and he became involved at a Baptist church there in Chicago. He started combining his love of jazz and blues with the hymns that he grew up with, and he wrote over 200 gospel hymns. This was a term that he coined himself, and he became known as the father of gospel music. But that wasn't the end of tragedy in his life. He got married, and his wife was pregnant with their first child, and he was called to St. Louis to do the music for a revival. When he was sitting down on a break, a messenger came running in with a Western Union envelope, and he opened it, and there on the yellow page, it said, "Your wife just died." He was heartbroken. He went back to Chicago. His son died that night, and he buried his wife and his baby in the same casket. He said that he was so heartbroken, he didn't think that God had done him right. He said here he was trying to serve him, and he'd taken away the only things that mattered in life. He didn't want to be a part of that anymore. He just wanted to go back to doing his jazz and his blues. And a friend took him to his music school and said, "Why don't you just spend some time at the piano?" And so he sat down at the piano, and he started playing. And some of the hymns from Sunday school came back into his mind. And so he combined some of the melody that he'd heard before, and he wrote this new text, which became Precious Lord. Let me read you the first stanza of that. "Precious Lord, take my hand. Lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home." This gospel hymn has become very well known around the world. I'm sure you know it, have sung it. Many popular singers through the years have sung it. It was played at the rally in Memphis the night that Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. So it's become a part of the musical structure of our country. I'm going to play you a version of this. I hope you think about those words. And no matter what we're going through, no matter what we're struggling with, I hope that you feel drawn closer to Jesus and aren't afraid to say, "Take my hand." I'll see you next week.